All right, so we're going to jump into the customization. Welcome back to some more MX versus ATV All Out. I know we kind of went through it quickly in that first video, so you kind of got an idea, but we didn't show any of the rider customization, and I had several people asking me that the customization is their favorite part of the game, so let's check it out. First, you have the option to be male or female. It's not just like some gears for female, and then you can be that female character, or it doesn't matter. Everything can go for the female and everything can go for the male now. You just have to choose the option you want right away from the get-go. And then you have, your name, your skin tone, your number, all that good stuff. So the first thing we are checking out is the helmets. Now, I'm not going to name off, obviously what you can see. One thing I do try to do is you see all the brands here, all the companies and the different models they have, but you can also go in, you can click on the Fly Racing. Let's say Fly Racing, which one do I see? Fly Racing Elite or Fly Racing F2 Carbon. You can click on one of those, or there, I guess I'm doing it right now, and then you get different color schemes, different options. So you have more than what I'm scrolling through, but I every so often click on it just to show you that you have more options within that specific model, you know what I mean? And you different color schemes and stuff to show. And it would have been a little bit quicker. This video I know is a little on the long side, and there's not really any writing, so if it's not something you want to see, I'll just let you know now that it's just a customization. But on PS4, it takes a little bit for the graphics to load in. Now, I really do believe on PC, it really won't do that. I don't think there'll be lag on PC. Especially considering you have a decent gaming rig, I think it'll handle it pretty well. I would assume Xbox One X is going to run it wickedly smooth in the 60 FPS. I would assume as well that the PS4 Pro will probably, run it relatively smoothly. The PS4 runs it decent, but it does, I've said it a couple times, it does have some lag here and there, which I do believe will get patched eventually. Nationals seems to be the bigger problem. Supercross to some degree with the AI, but mostly the Nationals. And then obviously right there, it just takes about a second or so for it to load in, and that doesn't bother me. I know some people will be like, I want it now, I want it right now. It loads in. It takes 1 second for it to load in. Well, I wish it wasn't like that, but if it doesn't do it on the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro, I guess it's time to upgrade to the PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, which is funny because I don't have one. But again, it doesn't really bother me that it takes a second to load in, but we kind of have to sit through it a little on the slow side. And now we're going through the gear, which is the meat of everything. There's so much gear, man. There's companies in here that haven't been in MX vs ATV before. There's tons of stuff. And I'm going to straight up say what I'm most pumped for is that fast house gear, man. I'm so pumped that that's in the game. I love the alias. I love all of it, to be honest with you. Of course. If I could buy any of it, I'd do that. But what I really find myself, what I was excited for. Okay, two things. The fast house is what I kind of went for first, but I'm also pumped that they have my polka dot pink Troy Lee Designs gear, man. Super pumped for that. They have so much stuff in here, and then again, I'm kind of showing you that just because I'm going through this, the list is actually bigger than what it looks like, because not all the time. There are some where you click on it and you only have that one option, like you just saw. It's just that one. But a lot of them you click on, you have the option to have different color schemes and stuff like that. Does that make sense? So there's tons of stuff, man. Tons of stuff. That's why this video is so long, because I went through everything with you, basically everything. I could have clicked on every single piece of gear and showed you every color scheme, but that's for you to do. I'm just kind of going through it as thorough as I can while being as quick as I can, because otherwise the videos get so wicked long, you know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of really long videos. I like to keep them short and sweet, and this one is pushing 13 minutes, man. That's a long video for me. A lot of my videos average 5 to 7 minutes. I bet that's about the average length of my videos, is 5 to Yeah, I'd say 5 to 7 minutes. And then we do all this with the bike too. Now the bike we kind of showed as well, and we're not even to that point yet, but it's a little quicker to get through that one because there's just less stuff. And the only thing you have to wait for to load in really, like here every time, we go through the gear, it loads in a little bit, was the graphics kit. So just kind of, I don't know what else to say. I mean, there's the gear, man. I mean, it's awesome. I'm so pumped for how much gear they have in the game and the new companies they brought on board. And if I had to choose my favorite one, I already said was, what did I say? Fast House. Fast House is what I'm most stoked for. I'm stoked for all the gear equally, yes, but just a little bit. Okay, that's not true. Not equally, because I'm just a little more stoked for Fast House. It's the stuff, man. It's the stuff. Now we're going to gloves. Now this is something that's really cool because think back to Encore. When you chose the gear, you chose the glove. It was the gear set, so you couldn't change anything. Now, I mean, you can mix and match if you want to have some Alias gear. You can have some 7 gloves and some Fox boots if you want to mix and match like that. I personally, I like to have. Now, I don't think I did it actually for this. Well, because I don't select anything anyways. But I personally like to have the same gear, same gloves, and then the helmet and the boots doesn't really matter to me. But if I'm going to do that, like, I don't know how I explain it. I'm very weird like that. But if I have Fox gear, I'll run Fox boots with it. But I don't want to run like... I'm trying to think here. I don't want to run, let's say, Fast House gear with Fox boots. I don't know why, it just bugs me. So if I'm going to run the Fast House gear, I want to use like Alpine Stars or Answer or, something of that nature of boot. I don't want to run... I don't know how to explain it. It's really weird. I know, it's really weird. It's just kind of how I am, but now we're going through the boots. But back to the gloves, I think it's really cool that we have the option of running whatever glove you want aside. It's not just part of the gear. The customization is much more in-depth this year, and they just killed it, man. They did such a good job with this. I'm super pumped, and I think a lot of people will be, because I feel like the customization on previous MX vs. ATV games was lacking a little bit. I mean, I was happy with it, yes, but I'm just saying I'm more happy now than I was then. So really cool to see it. And then we're going to kind of cut over to the bike here in just a second once we finish up these boots. And they are done. And we, again, did this basically in the first video, but going over it a little more in depth, showing you. So the engine upgrade, you have multiple options. You have the lower end motor, the mid-range motor, and then the high-end engine. So the mid-range is like 5,000 and the high range is 10. And the only thing else that is that expensive as far as moto coins goes is the suspension. I think the suspension is the same. It's like low range. I don't even know how much that cost. The mid-range is 5,000 and the high end is 10,000. Yeah, 10,000. Think 10,000. Everything else is quite a bit cheaper. Now, the cool thing is not everything carries over, but like the tires, I was using the Dunlop GL Max MX32s. Tires look sick. They look awesome. I love Dunlop, and they just, oh man, looks awesome. It looks real. The Dunlop, what was I saying now? Yeah, the Dunlop tires, I unlocked them and used them on the 250F. So that was already unlocked, and I could just use that same tire on the 450. So I didn't have to go and spend another set of moto coins to unlock that. You know what I mean? So you can save yourself some moto coins early on by just using a lot of the same things for the upgrades, just for the sake of upgrading the bike. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. The wheels weren't really, it wasn't a necessity for upgrading. Now the clutch had to be bought every single time. So I was buying the Hinson every single time. It was, what was it, 900? 300, 600, 900, something like that. Yeah, that's what it looked like. So that had to be bought every single time. I think the suspension had to be bought every time. I'm not sure now. Because it looks like, I know I bought, yeah, because it doesn't look like the factory connection was unlocked. And I used the factory connection on the 250F. So suspension has to be bought every single time. You have the 1,000 low end, you have the 5,000, and then you have the 10,000. So engine and suspension most expensive, which makes sense. Makes sense. If you want to know, go look up what is it? The Showa A kit. Okay, go look up the Showa A-Kit. Go Google it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google Showa A-Kit suspension. Okay, it's not cheap. That stuff ain't cheap. So it makes sense that it would cost more money for to soup up the engine and dial in that aftermarket suspension. And then the graphics aren't very expensive, obviously. It's cool because it's realistic. It makes sense. Everybody's like, oh, it's such an arcade game. Well, it has some realistic aspects to it. Let's say at least, you know, the Moto Coins thing and how you buy the upgrades, it makes realistic sense. I wish I could have went through these graphics a little bit quicker, but it kind of had the same problem as the gear where you're just waiting for the game to kind of load it in. What are we looking at right now? Tires still? Oh no, we're looking at Sprockets. So I think Sprockets was also unlocked permanently, so you didn't have to keep buying it. I know Handlebars was. I was using the Pro Taper Contour. I said Pro Taper, not Pro Circuit. People were hammering me because my head was thinking one thing and my mouth said another in Supercross Encore Part 2 or 3. Pro Taper Contour. Those were already unlocked, so you know you didn't have to waste money on that, which was kind of cool. But we go through them all for the sake of showing you what they look like, because I know somebody would ask, hey, you didn't go through this one. We go through brakes, which there's not too many options, just the Rainbow and the THQ Nordic, and we're using the THQ Nordic Hydro maxed out. You can change the colors on all this stuff too. I don't know if I already said that, so parts are whatever colors you want to make them. And then we have the seat. You can change the seat color. There's a few different seat designs, I guess. Different seat designs. And then what else was there? There was two other things. Kind of show you can change the colors and put it however you kind of want to put it. Let's get out of this and head to... Oh, we're still going through seats. Actually, didn't we go through... I don't know. Seats, and then grips. Grips is, you can choose a few different things. Not a ton of selection on grips. I was kind of surprised. I really thought there would have been a few more, but nonetheless, the whole shot device is the last thing, and that wraps up the bike. So that's really all I have to say. That covers this video. You guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.